Welcome to my channel. Today I will tell you an inspiring story about the courage and dedication of a paramedic facing a dangerous situation. This story is not just about saving a life, it's a lesson in humanity giving and the ability to confront challenges. Let's prepare to dive into the details of this exciting tale and discover what the paramedic goes through in such critical moments. As the chaos unfolds, every second counts, and the paramedic knows that their quick thinking could mean the difference between life and death. With unwavering focus, the paramedic works tirelessly, ensuring that the injured person receives the care they desperately need on the way to the hospital. As the doors swing open, the paramedic feels a mix of exhaustion and satisfaction, knowing that their efforts have made a significant impact. In the quiet aftermath, the paramedic reflects on the fragility of life and the profound moments that define their career in emergency medicine. Gratitude flows as the paramedic realizes the impact of their work, not just in saving lives, but in creating connections that matter. In these human moments, the true essence of being a paramedic is revealed, the unwavering commitment to serve and protect those in need. Without hesitation, Johnny jumps into the driver's seat and revs the engine, racing toward the scene of the accident. The city blurs by as he navigates the quiet streets, adrenaline pumping through his veins. He knows every second counts in saving a life. Our story begins late at night when the city is quiet and the lights shimmer in the streets. Paramedic Johnny had just finished his exhausting day, but he knows that his profession as a paramedic means being prepared for emergencies as part of his daily life. His days are filled with challenges, but he draws strength from his passion for helping others. While at the ambulance station, he received an emergency call requesting assistance for someone who had been in a serious accident. As Johnny arrives at the scene, he is met with a heart-wrenching sight: a twisted vehicle crumpled against a lamppost. He immediately coordinates with his team, assessing the injured and prioritizing who needs help first. With a calm yet urgent demeanor, Johnny crouches beside the patient, assessing the injuries and administering first aid amidst the chaos. He knows that his words can provide comfort in this moment of fear and uncertainty. His heart began to race. He knows that every second counts in such situations. In that moment, he recalled all the training he had undergone and the people he had saved in the past, which gave him the strength to spring into action. Quickly, Johnny jumped into his ambulance, pressed the accelerator, and headed to the accident site. The streets were nearly empty, but he felt a significant amount of tension. During the journey, he remembered all the training he had received. Each turn he took felt like a lifetime, the weight of responsibility heavy on his shoulders. As he approached the scene, thoughts raced through his mind about how he could help and what he could do to save lives. The sight of the accident unfolded before him, a tangle of twisted metal and cries for help echoing in the night air. Adrenaline surged through his veins as he quickly assessed the situation, prioritizing who needed help first. With years of training guiding his actions, he moved swiftly, directing other responders and administering first aid where it was most needed. Each heartbeat felt like a countdown, but Johnny remained calm, determined to make a difference. He locked eyes with the injured, providing comfort and assurance, letting them know help was on the way. Teamwork became their lifeline as they shared tasks, moving with precision and synergy amidst the unfolding crisis. With each moment that passed, Johnny felt the weight of his training translating into tangible hope for those in dire need. Those training moments echoed in his mind, providing him with strength and focus. He knew he had to stay calm and give his best in that moment. He also thought about his family and how important it was for him to return to them after his shift. He imagined how happy they would be to see him after a long day, and that motivated him. Upon arrival, he faced a difficult scene. There was a person lying on the ground unconscious with blood flowing from their wounds. He quickly assessed the situation, heart racing but mind clear as he recalled his training. With steady hands, he checked for vital signs, focusing on every detail. The world around him faded into the background. All that existed was the life he was fighting to save. He called out for assistance, his voice steady despite the chaos, knowing help was critical. As he tended to the wounds, thoughts of his family fueled his resolve, pushing him to give everything he had in this moment of crisis. As more first responders arrived, the atmosphere transformed into a well-orchestrated rescue operation. The young firefighter felt a surge of adrenaline, knowing he was part of something greater than himself. Each movement was precise, each decision critical, driven by the thought of his family's love waiting for him. He communicated clearly with his teammates, leading the way with confidence. In that intense moment, he realized the true meaning of bravery, showing up when it mattered most, no matter the odds. A crowd had gathered around, watching anxiously and feeling helpless. Johnny listened to the victim's heartbeat and began administering first aid, supported by his skills and experience. He spoke to the victim gently, trying to reassure them and make them feel that someone cared. He knew that words could have a significant impact in such moments, so he used a calm and reassuring tone, emphasizing the importance of staying composed. As Johnny tended to the victim, the crowd's whispers faded into an eerie silence, tension filling the air. Each moment felt significant, and Johnny's confidence began to calm those around him. He remembered the training embedded deep within him, every lesson preparing him for this very moment. The victim's eyes, filled with fear, searched for solace, and Johnny offered it through unwavering reassurance. As the sirens echoed in the distance, hope blossomed amidst despair. Johnny focused intently on the task at hand, each bandage wrapped with precision, a lifeline for the victim. With each word he spoke, he painted a picture of calmness, urging the victim to hold on just a little longer. He felt the weight of responsibility as eyes were glued to him, every heartbeat syncing with the rhythm of hope. In those critical moments, Johnny used everything he had learned in training and worked hard to restore the person's pulse. His hands trembled slightly, not from fear, but from the excitement and the heavy responsibility he carried. He began performing rescue breaths and instructed his colleagues to prepare the necessary equipment for transferring the patient to the hospital. He needed to be quick and efficient because every second counted, potentially increasing the danger to the victim's life. With every rescue breath, Johnny felt a surge of adrenaline coursing through him, pushing him to maintain focus amidst the chaos. He glanced at his colleagues, recognizing their shared determination. A silent bond formed in moments of crisis. As the cardiac monitor began to beep irregularly, he knew they had to act fast, the urgency of the situation amplifying his resolve to keep fighting for the patient's life. As Johnny continued with each compression, he felt the rhythm of his actions sync with the hope that still lingered in the air. The weight of responsibility pushed him forward, reminding him of the countless hours spent training for this very moment. He could hear distant sirens approaching, a slight relief that help was on the way, but his focus remained unwavering on the patient beneath him. There were moments of silence that heightened everyone's anxiety, but Johnny was determined to save this person's life. He gave clear instructions and everyone worked together as a team. Thanks to the efforts of Johnny and his colleagues, the person began to regain consciousness. Signs of hope were emerging. Their eyes slowly opened as if life was returning to them. They looked at Johnny as if communicating in a silent language of gratitude and appreciation. Johnny smiled gently as the person's eyes met his, a sense of relief flooding the scene with colleagues around him expressing quiet joy and support. A wide shot of the emergency scene captured the team working in unison with paramedics' medical equipment and the serene backdrop of twilight symbolizing the shift from despair to hope. Johnny knelt beside the person, holding their hand reassuringly, while speaking comforting words the team members surrounding them, their faces illuminated by the warm glow of emergency lights. A close-up shot showed Johnny's focused expression as he checked the person's vitals, capturing the determination and responsibility weighing on his shoulders in that crucial moment. In that moment, Johnny realized that his work was not just a job, but a profound human message. That moment embodied the true meaning of giving, and his heart was filled with gratitude for having the opportunity to help someone in dire need. As they made their way to the hospital, Johnny continued to monitor the patient's condition. He spoke to them kindly, encouraging them to take deep breaths. He knew that psychological support was just as important as physical support. The ambulance surged through the city streets, its sirens wailing as Johnny focused on reassuring the patient. With every bump in the road, he maintained a steady voice, reminding them that help was on the way. He glanced at the monitors, checking vital signs while offering words of comfort, instilling confidence in the patient. As they approached the hospital, Johnny felt a surge of responsibility, knowing that every second counted. He squeezed the patient's hand, his steady gaze conveying strength and hope. The sight of the hospital brought a flood of relief, but he remained focused, ready to transfer care as soon as they arrived. Inside the hospital, a flurry of activity awaited them as they rushed the patient through the doors. Johnny felt a sense of pride, knowing that his diligence had made a difference even in that chaotic moment. As he handed the patient over to the waiting medical team, a wave of gratitude washed over him, reaffirming his commitment to this vital work. During the ride, he exchanged lighthearted jokes with his colleagues to relieve the tension, but his eyes remained focused on the patient, wishing to get them to safety. He monitored their vital signs, feeling both tension and determination. The closer they got to the hospital, the more pressure he felt, but he was resolved to succeed. They arrived at the hospital and the patient was transferred to the emergency department. Johnny felt exhausted, but he was happy that he had given his all. Johnny stood outside the hospital, watching as the emergency team rushed the patient through the sliding doors, his hands clenched in anticipation and hope. The scene at the hospital entrance was vibrant, illuminated by the night lights, with medical staff moving briskly to attend to the arriving patient, showcasing a sense of urgency and teamwork. Inside the hospital, Johnny was debriefing with his colleagues, discussing the critical situation they had just faced while holding a cup of coffee to recharge. Leaning against the wall, he looked visibly weary but satisfied, watching the medical team take over as they worked on the patient in a brightly lit emergency room. Johnny received a pat on the back from a fellow paramedic, their expressions conveying mutual respect and camaraderie after a challenging call. A close-up of Johnny's face was illuminated by the soft glow of hospital lights, showing a mix of relief and pride for having done his part in saving a life. When he exited the emergency room, he saw the patient's family waiting anxiously. Tears were in their eyes, but they were grateful for the medical team's efforts. Johnny approached them and reassured them that the patient was in good hands. Those words were a balm for their hearts, providing comfort amidst the chaos. He knew that these moments were what made his job worth all the effort. In the following days, Johnny continued to follow up on the patient's condition. Johnny settled at the nurse's station, reviewing the patient's chart, determined to stay informed about their progress. Meanwhile, the patient's family found solace in each other's company, their conversations turning from worry to hope as the days passed. With each note he took, Johnny felt a deep sense of responsibility for the patient's welfare. In the hospital room, surrounded by soft sunlight, the patient appeared more stable and the family stood close by, their expressions shifting from anxiety to cautious optimism. Johnny engaged the patient in conversation, his warm smile providing encouragement as they discussed the recovery process. The family members sitting closely by the patient's side held hands and shared smiles, their love and support evident in every gesture. He visited the hospital from time to time, not only to check on their progress, but also to express his support. He believed that every human deserves care and attention. When he met the patient again, the moment was touching. The patient smiled and thanked him, expressing gratitude for everything he had done. That moment represented more than just thanks. It was a manifestation of the human connection that had developed between them during a critical moment. As they spoke, the doctor listened intently, understanding the deep significance of these brief encounters. With every visit, he saw not just a patient, but a person with hopes, fears, and dreams. The connection they built was stronger than any treatment he could administer. Each smile they exchanged was a testament to resilience and the impact of genuine care. Moments like these reminded him why he chose this path. Stepping out of the hospital room, he felt a warmth in his heart, knowing that his presence made a difference. As he walked down the corridor, he caught sight of a nurse who shared his passion, their eyes meeting in a silent agreement about the importance of their work. Each interaction fueled his determination to keep supporting his patients, believing that every visit planted a seed of hope in their healing journeys. This was not just a job for him, it was a calling, one that brought him closer to understanding the beauty of human resilience. As the workshops gained popularity, Johnny felt a renewed sense of purpose. The young people he trained were not just learning skills, they were building confidence and a sense of community. Each session brought new faces eager to make a difference, and Johnny realized he was igniting a spark in others that mirrored his own journey. They talked about life, hope, and the days to come. After that incident, Johnny's life changed significantly. He became more convinced of the importance of his work and the necessity of providing care to others. He realized that every day presents a new opportunity to save someone's life, and that being a paramedic is a great honor. He began organizing workshops to train young people in first aid, sharing his knowledge and experience. The impact of his efforts began to ripple through the community. Families started to feel more secure, knowing that their loved ones were equipped with life-saving skills. Johnny watched as confidence grew among the youth, each gaining not only knowledge but also friendships forged through their shared commitment to help others. Motivated by the growing enthusiasm, Johnny began to form partnerships with local leaders to expand his mission. Together, they envisioned new health initiatives that would reach even more people. The smiling faces of his trainees reflected not only accomplishment but also a shared dream of a safer community. He ensured that there would always be willing hands to help. He dreamed that everyone in the community could be a small paramedic learning how to handle emergencies. In one of the workshops, he met a young man named Tony who was afraid of the idea of being a paramedic. Johnny shared his experiences with him, explaining how being a paramedic requires courage and dedication. He pointed out that everyone has the potential to be a hero in someone else's life. Johnny's words resonated deeply with Tony, slowly igniting a spark of confidence within him. As the workshop progressed, Tony began to realize that his fears were not insurmountable, and each small success built his courage. He started to embrace the idea that he could be trained to save lives just like the heroes he admired. With each passing session, Tony transformed from a timid beginner into a capable and confident individual. The supportive atmosphere of the workshop fostered not only his skills, but also friendships that would last a lifetime. At the graduation ceremony, Tony held his certificate high, realizing he had taken the first step toward becoming a hero in his community. Over time, Tony began to feel more confident and decided to pursue becoming a paramedic as well. That step marked a new beginning for him, as he started training diligently, participating in every workshop and honing his skills. Days passed, and Johnny's stories began to spread throughout the community. He became a symbol of courage and humanity, receiving numerous requests to participate in local events where he would share his experiences and help raise awareness. His passion ignited a spark in others, leading many to approach him after his talks, eager to learn more about emergency services and first aid. Each interaction revealed a deeper connection as people shared their own experiences and how Tony's journey motivated them. The impact of his words rippled through the community, creating a network of individuals determined to make a difference. Tony felt a sense of fulfillment that he had never experienced before, knowing that he was not only pursuing his dream but also inspiring others to follow theirs. As the weeks turned into months, Tony organized workshops, bringing together volunteers to educate the community on emergency preparedness. The sessions were filled with laughter and learning as he made complex concepts accessible and fun. Word spread about his efforts, attracting local media attention, which brought even more participants eager to join the cause. Each event solidified Tony's role, not just as a paramedic in training, but as a community leader dedicated to equipping others with life-saving skills. As he walked into the party, the warmth of gratitude enveloped him, and the room echoed with laughter and joy. Friends and family shared stories of courage with Johnny at the heart of each tale, feeling the love and appreciation from everyone around him. He felt proud to have contributed to changing people's lives and giving them hope in difficult times. He shared his stories with the audience, inspiring many to become paramedics, or at least to be ready to help in emergencies. One day he received a call from the family of the patient he had saved. They wanted to organize a thank you party for him and the ambulance crew. Johnny was humble but felt a great sense of joy. In a touching moment, a little girl approached Johnny, her eyes bright with admiration as she presented him with a card she had made just for him. The party buzzed with energy as laughter and stories intertwined, creating a celebration of heroism and community. As the evening progressed, Johnny gathered with his fellow paramedics, celebrating their shared commitment to saving lives and making a difference. Holding the card in his hands, he reflected on the impact of their work and the countless lives transformed through their efforts. When he attended the party, everyone welcomed him with applause, expressing their deep gratitude. That moment was a manifestation of the love and support felt by everyone for those who save lives. One of the family members delivered a touching speech mentioning how this moment was a turning point in their lives and how Johnny had not only saved their loved one's life but had also restored their hope. As the words echoed through the room, Johnny felt the weight of their gratitude, realizing the profound impact he had made. The once quiet man found himself at the center of this celebration, the cheers and applause igniting a newfound sense of purpose within him. In that moment, surrounded by love and appreciation, Johnny understood that saving a life was not just about the act itself, but about the ripple effect of hope it created in the hearts of others. Johnny took a deep breath, feeling the warmth of their gratitude wrap around him like a comforting embrace. In that instant, he recognized that the journey to save lives extended beyond the hospital. It was about uniting families and fostering hope. With every smile and thank you, he felt a mission ignite within him to continue saving lives and inspiring others to do the same. As Johnny stood in front of the class, he demonstrated CPR on a mannequin, conveying his passion for teaching. The participants watched closely, their faces filled with focus and curiosity. Among them, Tony raised his hand to ask a question about first aid, showing his engagement and interest in the training. After the party, Johnny decided to launch a small project to train people in first aid. He believed that teaching people how to respond to emergencies would have a significant impact on the community. He started preparing training materials and gathered a team of professionals to assist him. The first course was organized at a community center where many people of different ages participated. The biggest surprise was that Tony was among the participants. The atmosphere shifted as the class engaged in hands-on training, practicing bandaging techniques on one another while Johnny circulated to provide guidance. A sense of fulfillment washed over him as he smiled proudly, watching the participants learn and embrace the skills that could save lives. At the end of the session, participants gathered in a circle to share their thoughts and experiences about the training, with Johnny facilitating the discussion in an encouraging manner. To celebrate their achievements, a group photo was taken, capturing the smiling faces of all participants, including a happy Tony standing proudly next to Johnny. During the course, Johnny taught the participants how to handle emergencies and perform basic first aid. He emphasized the importance of remaining calm in critical situations and shared real stories to illustrate how their skills could impact the lives of others. The enthusiasm and interaction from the participants were great, and they asked many questions which made him feel happy that he was contributing to spreading knowledge. As the lesson progressed, Johnny demonstrated how to apply a bandage on a volunteer's arm while other participants watched closely, taking notes and nodding in understanding. The atmosphere was filled with enthusiasm as everyone practiced first aid techniques on each other, showcasing their teamwork and collaboration. Johnny encouraged a participant who was performing the Heimlich maneuver on a training dummy, their expression showing concentration and determination. A close-up revealed a smiling participant raising their hand to ask another question, surrounded by classmates who were eagerly listening. Sitting on a table, Johnny shared a personal story about a rescue he was involved in as participants leaned in to listen intently, their faces reflecting interest. At the end of the session, a group photo captured all participants smiling and giving a thumbs up, proudly holding their first aid certificates. Johnny's face lit up with joy as he read a congratulatory message from Tony on his phone, feeling the weight of accomplishment wash over him. It was a moment that represented not just Tony's success, but the culmination of Johnny's efforts and dedication to the community. As time passed, Johnny became well known in his community as an outstanding trainer, continuing to organize workshops and courses. He began to see the impact of his work as more people learned how to provide first aid. Some even volunteered in emergency services, increasing his sense of pride. He knew he was contributing to building a safer community. One day, he received news from Tony that he had successfully passed the first aid certification exam. With excitement brewing, Johnny and Tony set up a first aid demonstration booth at a lively community event in the park, eager to share their knowledge. Families and children gathered around, their eyes filled with curiosity as they attentively watched the demonstration, showcasing the growing interest in first aid education. Johnny passionately explained a first aid technique to the crowd, guiding them through the steps with enthusiasm while attendees practiced on CPR mannequins. A young girl raised her hand, her face lit up with excitement as she asked questions, embodying the eagerness for knowledge that filled the atmosphere. As Tony arrived at the party, he was met with smiles and cheers from friends gathered to celebrate him. The room was filled with warmth and laughter as everyone raised their glasses for a toast in his honor. Johnny was incredibly proud of him and wanted to celebrate. He decided to hold a small party for him where he delivered a heartfelt speech to everyone, expressing how Tony had become an exemplary figure, a hero in the eyes of many. At the end of the story, Johnny realizes that the work he does is not just about saving lives, but also about inspiring others. He has become part of a network of paramedics and helpers in the community. Johnny held up a framed picture of Tony in his paramedic uniform, sharing a heartfelt story about their experiences together. Laughter filled the air, highlighting the joy and camaraderie among friends celebrating Tony's achievements. Guests gathered around the table, enjoying a feast of homemade dishes and treats, engaged in lively conversations that filled the room with warmth. Tony's eyes sparkled with happiness as he listened to heartfelt stories shared by his friends, reflecting the deep bonds formed over the years. As the celebration neared its end, Johnny stood with a microphone, preparing to conclude the event with an emotional toast. In that beautiful moment, everyone raised their glasses high, united in gratitude and celebration for Tony's accomplishments and contributions.
His journey was not easy. It was fraught with challenges that tested his resolve. As he navigated through the streets, offering his hand to those who felt lost, he discovered a profound sense of purpose. Each smile he received in return fueled his passion even more, each carrying the same goal in their hearts to help others. One day, while reviewing photos he had taken during workshops and events, he understood that every moment of those moments was worth the effort, and every person has the power to make a difference. In conclusion, Johnny remembers the moment he saved a life and how that experience shaped his life. He knew that every difficult situation he faced in his work contributed to shaping his character and giving him strength. Every interaction reminded him of the importance of connection and community. In those quiet moments, he realized that sometimes the smallest gestures could change a life forever. Looking out over the city he loved, Johnny found peace in knowing that his efforts were making a genuine difference. The events he organized became a celebration of hope and resilience, drawing people together in joyous harmony. In that moment, when gratitude flowed freely, Johnny understood the depth of his influence. Each tear shed was a testament to lives touched and transformed, solidifying his commitment to this path. This is a story that reflects courage and giving, reminding us of the importance of humanitarian work. In a world filled with challenges, we must always remember that there are people ready to sacrifice for others. If you enjoyed the story, please subscribe to the channel and share the video with your friends. In this narrative, we see how acts of kindness can change lives, especially in communities facing adversity.
The story showcases individuals who step up selflessly, proving that unity and compassion can overcome the toughest obstacles. As the narrative unfolds, the community center becomes a beacon of hope where people from all walks of life come together to uplift one another. It illustrates how collaboration and mutual support foster resilience, empowering everyone involved. In a pivotal moment, a young leader emerges, rallying the community with her fervent words. Her passion ignites a spark in those around her, motivating them to take action and make a difference in their neighborhoods. The energy at the charity event is palpable, showcasing the power of unity as individuals from different backgrounds join forces for a common purpose. This gathering serves as a reminder that collective efforts can lead to significant change in the world. Let's encourage each other to be paramedics in our daily lives and lend a helping hand to those in need. Every small step can make a big difference. Thank you for watching and stay safe. In moments, small and large acts of kindness bring hope and joy to our communities. Each gesture, whether it's sharing food or nurturing our environment, contributes to a better world. Every individual has the power to make a difference, whether it's helping someone in need or building connections with those around us. These moments of support create a ripple effect of kindness. In every corner of our lives, we can be sources of encouragement and care, uplifting those who may feel lost or alone. These simple acts of service lead to a brighter, more connected community. By coming together for a common cause, we can create lasting change and strengthen the bonds that hold us together. Each act of generosity fuels the fire of compassion in our neighborhoods. When we share our talents and passions with others, we not only uplift those around us, but also inspire future generations to carry the torch of kindness and community spirit. By involving our families and friends in acts of service, we create a culture of compassion that resonates through generations. Together, we can cultivate stronger ties and enrich the lives of those around us.